Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we talked with some of the hundreds of people waiting to get help with their delayed unemployment benefits. And as COVID-19 cases are back on the rise throughout the state, we talked with one business owner who saw this as a sign to stay closed. Plus, people from all around the region drove by the Mountains Arts Center yesterday to lend their faces to a new project.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:31 on this Friday, June the 19th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Thank goodness it's Friday. Yesterday, I think for the most part, we escaped rain across the region, even though it was a relatively overcast day. Let's see what Brandon's got in store for us as we bring him in this morning. And Brandon, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm going to get you some more coffee here, Will, in just a minute. I can't get it. I'll have to try to get it to you by like some delivery system or something. But anyway, rain chances already picking up this morning down south there along the I-75 corridor, just south of Williamsburg, or just east of Somerset as well, and into East Tennessee. So again, if you're traveling that area, basically 75 from London down through Jellicoe, just be careful this morning, slow it down, or Hal Rogers Parkway between London and Somerset this morning. Visibility pretty rough. Keep that in mind as you head out the door this morning. Anywhere less than 5 miles on this map is dense fog, and we have zero visibility or close to it right now in Moorhead, Pikeville, and Logan, and Jackson just went down to less than 2 miles live on air. So again, careful. That's the word of the day today. 61 to 65. Lots of folks 61 or 63, and it's kind of a standard temperature this morning. We'll take a look at our 12-hour planner. Heading toward the 80-degree mark. I don't think we'll make it to 80. I think we'll stay in the mid to upper 70s as those chances for scattered showers and storms continue across the region. Full forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Will.
All righty, Brandon, if you're out on the roads, don't use your high beams. Not only dangerous for you, it's dangerous for people around you. Thanks again, Brandon. Well, one man is behind bars and another is in critical condition following an assault early Tuesday morning in Hazard. The Hazard Police Department was called to East Main Street around 6:45 in the morning. They found Robert Beaver from Knott County covered in blood. Unsure of where it was coming from, he was taken to the hospital. Lieutenant John Holbrook went to the hospital with EMS and learned this was a more serious matter than they initially suspected.
They took him to CT, determined there was a brain bleed. At that point, we actually went back to the scene because we knew we had something major going on.
Further investigation led to the arrest of 27-year-old Jesse Couch. He is in the Kentucky River Regional Jail, charged with 1 count of attempted murder and a host of other charges. An argument led to a shooting in Wolfe County Wednesday night that left 1 man dead and another behind bars. This is Troy Dunkelberger. Police say Dunkelberger told them the victim pushed him several times and got into his face at a cabin in the Red River Gorge. Dunkelberger also claims the victim threatened to cut him. When the victim tried to talk to Dunkelberger's sister, police say Dunkelberger shot the victim 5 to 7 times. Dunkelberger claims the victim was searching his pockets for something. Dunkelberger is charged with murder. Meanwhile, a death investigation is underway in Clay County after a body was found inside a burning car. The coroner tells us there was a crash on Highway 149 Wednesday night. When crews arrived, a car was on fire. Crews then found a body inside. Right now, we do not know the victim's identity. We did reach out to Kentucky State Police for more information, but have not heard back. Well, hundreds lined up in Frankfort yesterday waiting to get help with unemployment benefits. Many of them stood outside for hours hoping to get their claims resolved. WYMT's Phil Pendleton talked to people who traveled from all across the Commonwealth.
I drove from Paducah, Kentucky, 4.5 hours.
For the third day, long lines could be found in Frankfort.
We're all suffering from the same thing. We're all experiencing the same pain.
Many here, like Janice Butler, making the early morning haul from Paducah, begging for help. Like past days, many had waited up to 10 hours, then told they couldn't take any more. But with some good news. Yeah! This line managed to empty when officials had room for just a few more. But the tens of thousands across the state, they are still waiting.
So what about the individuals in Kentucky that's on the other side of the state that can't make it here? You know, how do they get something resolved? Because obviously if you don't show up here, you can't get nothing done.
And while many people found the answers to what they have been looking for months and months and months, other people that have come out some days, then they've been turned away because the line's too long and told to leave their phone number. They say they feel like they've been left in the dark.
I got in my car and drove 2 hours to be told the line's closed and I can't get in line.
We met Trisha Taberky on Tuesday. The first day she was told to leave her number and someone would call her back the next day.
Again, no call, and again today, no call. I think that taking the number is just trying to give people hope to settle them down for a little bit. I don't have any confidence that I'm going to get a call back.
The governor said today they are calling many back. As for moving offices throughout the state to avoid long drives, he says that could be still over a week away.
Now, that was Nick Oliver reporting, not Phil Pendleton. Governor Beshear also said in yesterday's briefing that 61 of the 67 people who were turned away when the center closed had been helped. He said the federal government mandates assistance ends at 7, but he says the deadline was moved to 8 for last night. Well, God's Closet in Clay County planned to reopen next Monday, but those plans have changed. Due to an increase in COVID-19 cases in the county, it will not be open through the month of July. The organization typically serves more than 75 people on regular days. For the safety of the community, they will reopen in August if COVID-19 cases decrease, but they do still offer emergency help.
We're full. But as far as being able to give out, we're not been able to do that, and so it sort of hurt us because we know there are people that need stuff. But if there's an emergency like a house fire or something like that, we'll let people go in one by one and get things that they need.
God's Closet has received more than 1,000 bags of items in 11 weeks, and they are still taking donations. Well, 3 local healthcare workers turned their artistic ability into a business. They sell different varieties of art, but the focus is on chairs. They find old, used chairs and give them new life, painting whatever topic a person wants on it. Kelsey Jacobs, one of the artists, says art is a great escape from working in the healthcare field, especially during this time.
Especially recently, work has been pretty stressful. So whenever you can come home and create something, me personally, it takes a lot of weight off my chest and it gives me an outlet to focus that energy into.
So far, they have created and designed nearly 250 chairs. During the pandemic, they have also been doing special wreath giveaways specifically for healthcare workers. Well, people from all around the region drove by the Mountain Arts Center yesterday to lend their faces to a new project. Local photographer Malcolm Wilson invited people to show off their masks for a new photo documentary project he is working on. Show Us Your Mask is his way of putting a face to Appalachia's response to COVID-19.
We don't have a lot to dig from or remember from the last pandemic, which was really the 1918 Spanish flu. So hopefully that generations will see how we handled such a thing and how we dealt with it.
Wilson's photos will be added to the Special Collections archives at the University of Pikeville and the University of Kentucky. Well, researchers with the University of Kentucky have been working to find a potential treatment for COVID-19. But the method they are using is one you likely haven't heard of. They have been using alpacas that they say could hold the key to a COVID-19 treatment. Adam Burniston talked with an expert and brings us more.
Alpacas Big Boy, Blue Eyes, and Emperor from the River Hill Ranch in Madison County have been the center of research by a team of experts from the University of Kentucky's College of Medicine. According to Dr. Wally Whitehart, alpacas, llamas, and camels all produce a special antibody called nanobodies.
The nanobodies are really interesting molecules. They're really small, and they're great for inhibiting things, for in this case, blocking viral entry into cells and preventing infection.
Researchers get these nanobodies through blood samples that contain the alpaca's immune response, and then from there they isolate the nanobodies to reproduce them on a larger scale in a lab. Dr. Whitehart says these methods have already been used successfully in a therapeutic that helps prevent blood clots, and nanobodies may even help in other viruses.
There is some evidence out there that nanobodies against MERS can be protective. And so, we sort of thought we were on the right path based on these kinds of things.
Another benefit from using nanobodies is that because they're so small, treatment methods can be a lot easier to administer for doctors and those impacted by a virus or other disease.
We have a way to actually use them as, as an inhalant almost, as a viral treatment. So we thought that they would be a perfect shot for an anti-COVID therapeutic.
Now, Dr. Whitehurst says they are fortunate to have partners like River Hill Ranch, where the alpacas are from, and that it's important to note that no harm is being done to the animals during the research. Well, just ahead on Mountain News this morning, guitars from legends in music history will be up for auction this weekend for a hefty price tag.
The transition from spring into summer will be underway before you know it, starting at 5:43 tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about that transition, what it can mean for us here in the mountains, coming up.